Hello there, thanks for joining me. It's Lee Cunningham here from UID.me, the UK's leading emergency ID and alert service. On today's video, we're just going to take you through the new dashboard and talk you through some of the updates to this latest version of UID.me, so you can see what's new and what kind of functionality we now have with the system. So right, so if you're new to UID.me, obviously this is new to you anyway, so it's definitely worth a watch. If you're an existing user, then you'll notice some changes when you next log in. So let's take you through that process. So we go to update my profile from the home page. I'm going to use our demonstration profile today and click login. And what you'll notice is that it takes you to this new dashboard. As I say, it's our demonstration account, demonstration profile. If you're a new user or you've not logged into this particular page before, you'll see a tour that pops up automatically. It just tells you about a few of the new features, and you can advance through the tour by clicking on the next button on each of the panels. But it's just perhaps a good idea to read it, because it just tells you what each of these tabs does. I'm going to whip through that just for now. And first of all, let's go across this top layer or row of buttons. View my profile, it's quite obvious what that one is. Update my profile, log out of the system, and show the tour, just in case you do forget what these other buttons are for. So view my profile, if you click on that, you go straight to your profile and you'll see how it looks, pretty much how it looks to a paramedic or first responder. There's a few changes here. We're looking at a platinum plan profile here. So obviously you see the photograph. You get this section at the top with the speed dial buttons for emergency contacts, emergency services, etc. And then of course the rest of the information is below that. So a couple of differences here. Each of the sections are highlighted when you hover over them or when you tap them. If you're using mobile, and also they are separated now from each other with the distinct line or ruler line, if you like, that goes across the section to let you know we've come to the end. One thing to note is if there's a section that you don't fill in, such as, for example, blood group, then that wouldn't appear here, whereas in previous versions you had the title blood group and then there was nothing beneath it. So just to save any ambiguity in the event of an emergency now, that section would not appear if you don't fill it in on the form. Some of the sections, of course, are mandatory. Some of the sections are optional. So you can cherry pick really what you want to fill in, what's right for you, what's appropriate. And then right at the bottom, as always, your last three updates, the date your profile was created, and the opportunity there to delete the profile if you so wish to do that. Right, so let's go back to that dashboard then. So to do that, we click on the profile home button. Update my profile, that's self-explanatory, as I said before. So let's have a look at these buttons beneath that. My plan is just quick kind of high level information about your particular plan. It shows here what our ID number is, the fact that we're on platinum, and how many alerts remaining for the rest of this month. Remember, that is refresh monthly. You don't pay for alerts, SMSs. That's all kind of included in your plan. And then there's a link there to the plans page. I'll click on that, and so you can just have a quick look there at what's included in the different plans. We do only have two, gold and platinum, but of course you can choose to pay the platinum monthly, or you can go annual if you wish. You have a look at that. So the next tab here is about my ID, so it's a little bit more in-depth information. So you can see there again, there's the opportunity to update your profile. If you click on this button here, that will take you to the familiar forms. You can make changes to, well, anything really, anything apart from your ID number, which of course stays remains the same throughout your time with UID.me. Tells you the holder name and the ID holder's address. Now, when you do go into update your profile, you know it's a mandatory requirement to have your address filled in. So I'll demonstrate that on another video. Status, whether it's active or inactive, and that can only be changed by us at admin. So there are various reasons why we might make a profile inactive. This could typically be down to unlikely event of suspicious activity, or if it's a payment issue, then we have that facility to make it inactive. And then obviously you've got the ID registrant name, registrant address, because this might be different than the ID holder if you're a carer perhaps, or you're the parent of a child whose profile you're looking after. Contact number, the date it was activated, and the last 3 times you updated the plan. Let's move on to the next button, which is My Tools. And again, it is a quick update this today. Some new and interesting things here. Email a copy of my profile, so you can literally send a copy of your profile to family member if you need to, maybe your GP, specialist, consultant. You can print a copy of your profile for yourself. You may wish to, what it'll do is it'll download it, and well, why don't we do it? It'll show it here, and then you can print it off by using this little button here on the top right. Or of course you can usually right click and select print. So all the information there is the information that you've got in your profile, and I think that's it's quite handy for you to have if you like to keep paper copies, or maybe you're going to see a new specialist and you want to just print all your information out rather than be asked what medications are you on, and and having to go through all that. You can just print it off and give it to them. Makes it very easy. You can invite a friend to UID.me if you wish to, by inputting a friend's name here, or and their email address in this field, and then invite. It will automatically send an email from you to them, telling them about UID.me and telling them how they can get a free ID number. You can also do that yourself here, although it will automatically log you out of the system. I think you get a little message here. Yeah, so when you click on get a free ID for a family member, it will just pop up with this message saying we need to log you out of the system in order for you to use this feature, and ask you to confirm or cancel. And then another new functionality with UID.me is the ability to download and print a QR code. So here, click on that, you get this QR code that downloads, and if you were to scan this QR code with your phone or your smartphone, then that will take you straight to your emergency ID profile. Do remember, of course, if you've got alerts set, it will trigger alerts to your emergency contacts, so you should always tell them if you're testing. But this can be handy if you want to create a hard copy, of or even if you want to create stickers, or perhaps something for the car, or your wallet. There are many reasons why that QR code might be handy for you to have, and it's a feedback that's been given from customers like yourself that's caused us to put these tools into the application. My offers on there. Currently, as you see there, there's a Dizzy Gold offer. If you're not signed up to that, have a look. It's a way of getting 3 emergency ID products for just £1, for £1 a month. I think the total value of that. Anyway, I'm not here to sell. I'm not here to sell them you, but you can have a look at that, check it out yourself. These are subject to change, of course. The My Learning is currently the Emergency ID Blueprint course, which is a course that we created for you to really maximise the impact of your emergency ID profile. There's lots of really top tips in that, actually. It's probably slightly underused, but it's a very, very good course to look at and consider. I think there's about 10 or 12 parts at least, quite short videos. Talks you through how how you can really maximize the impact and make sure that your ID profile is not ambiguous in any way, that you know that it's just full of clarity. And then there's some videos as well in that final button. So these get changed from time to time, these last three, but of course the first three remain quite static. So quickly now, the only thing that I've not spoke about on this short video is the update my profile, but you'd be pretty familiar with this. There's a few changes on this page, although they're rather subtle. You can go back through the form that you filled in originally to activate your profile. You can make various changes to your password and of course the information about the person that carries the ID. That may be you, it may be a spouse, it may be a child, you know, or somebody that you care for. So we'll just change that to 999 as we're in the UK anyway. And then whatever you do, always scroll to the bottom and click on submit. Don't forget to do that, it doesn't auto save for you. Some of the other changes here is that you can now format this basic formatting on some of the fields, which is great, you know, because you might want to put your medications or your medical conditions into a bulleted list or an ordered number list, rather than have it as a block of text like this one here. Remember, if you don't fill a particular section in here, it won't appear at all on your form. I'll give you an example of that. So we're just going to take that NHS number out here, remember that. And what else has changed? I think that's probably it. There's a few tweaks to the document store. If you use that to upload medical documents, things like do not resuscitate, advanced decisions, advanced statements. If you don't worry, it's just there if you ever wanted to use it. And then finally, agreeing to the terms and conditions and then updating your profile. Now do remember, we just removed that NHS number, so when we look at the profile after we've updated it, it shouldn't appear in the list of sections. So let's do that now. Whoops, now it's telling me that there's something wrong here. So I think that's probably going to be the address field. So let's just pop our address in. There's one here as well, happens to be the same. So I'm just going to put the address in, and hopefully we'll be able to submit this time. Right, there we go. So update successful. And then when we view the profile, we're looking down and the NHS number field has been removed. You see? It's not there anymore. So that's it. Thanks for watching. That's just a very quick overview. I'll do some more videos. We'll go into a little bit more detail on some of those changes and updates and specifically the tools, which I think are great. And if you want to watch those, feel free to do so. Thanks very much for your time in watching, and we'll speak to you again.